Beamy, 26 years old male living in a rainy district of Seattle. Work as a freelance graphic designer from my small one-bedroom apartment. It is a quiet life and mostly solitary, which suits my personality well enough. However, there is a gaping hole in my chest that has been there for nearly 2 years. Her name is Alara. Alara is 25 years old and she is the love of my life. She has dark hair that falls over her eyes when she laughs and a smile that makes my stomach do backflips. We met in college during a literature elective and bonded over a shared hatred of pretentiousness. The first 6 months of our relationship were perfect. We went to concerts, tried terrible street food, and spent hours walking through the park. Then the accident happened. It was not a car crash or a physical injury, but a mental collapse triggered by a terrifying event at a crowded festival. Alara got caught in a crowd crush. She was not physically crushed to the point of hospitalization, but the terror of being trapped broke something inside her. Panic attacks started happening daily. Then she stopped taking the bus. Then she stopped going to the grocery store. Eventually, she stopped leaving her apartment complex entirely. Fast forward to now, and we have been dating for 3 years total. For the last 18 months, our relationship has been almost entirely digital. Her apartment is only a 15-minute drive from mine, but it feels like she lives on the moon. I visit her constantly, of course. I bring groceries, I bring movies, I simply sit with her on her couch while she holds my hand with a grip so tight her knuckles turn white. She feels safe inside her walls, but the moment I mention opening a window, she starts hyperventilating. It is heartbreaking to watch the person you love shrink into a smaller and smaller world. I never complain to her because I know she hates herself for it more than I ever could. But the lack of normalcy is eating me alive. I miss dates. I miss walking holding hands. I miss her coming to my place. My apartment feels like a bachelor pad that no one ever visits except the pizza delivery guy. One Tuesday evening in November, the rain is hammering against my window. We are on a video call as usual. Alara is wearing her favorite oversized hoodie and looking tired. I have just finished a long project and I am feeling particularly lonely. I sigh loudly without meaning to. Alara looks at the camera with sad eyes. She asks what is wrong even though she already knows. I tell her that I miss her. I tell her that I wish she could see the new setup I built in the living room. I tell her that I wish we could just be normal for one single night. Silence hangs heavy over the digital connection, tears well up in her eyes, and she looks away. She says she is trying and that she has an appointment with a new therapist next week. I tell her I know and that I am proud of her. But we both know the progress is agonizingly slow. We say goodnight and I close my laptop feeling like a jerk for pressuring her. 2 days pass and she is unusually quiet in our text messages. Usually she sends me memes or random thoughts throughout the day, but my phone is dry. I start to worry that I pushed her too far and she is pulling away to protect herself. I text her asking if she needs me to bring dinner over. She replies 3 hours later with a single word. No. Panic starts to set in on my end. I call her, but it goes to voicemail. I am about to grab my keys and drive over to check on her when my phone buzzes again. It is a text from Alara. She says do not come over and that she is working on something. She says she needs to solve this herself. I respect her wishes, but my anxiety is through the roof. Another day passes. It is Friday night and I am sitting on my couch eating leftover pasta and watching a documentary about deep-sea fish. My phone buzzes with a notification from her. It says order food from that Thai place you like. I reply asking why. She says just trust me and order the pad Thai. I figure she wants to have a remote dinner date where we eat the same thing on video call. So I open the food delivery app and place an order for one pad Thai and some spring rolls. The app says delivery in 40 minutes. I text her saying food is ordered and ask if she is getting on Skype. She says not yet and to just wait. 30 minutes go by. I am pacing around my living room wondering what is going on. My buzzer rings, I go to the intercom and press the button. A voice crackles through the speaker. It is muffled and sounds like a delivery driver. Delivery for Liam. I buzz them in and unlock my front door. I stand in the doorway waiting for the driver to come up the stairs since the elevator is slow. A figure appears at the end of the hallway. They are wearing a bright orange reflective jacket that is 2 sizes too big. They have a massive square thermal backpack strapped to their shoulders. They are wearing a full motorcycle helmet with a tinted visor. It looks like a character from a sci-fi movie or a very serious courier. The person walks toward me with a strange, stiff gait. They stop right in front of my door. I reach out to take the food bag. The driver does not hand me the food. Instead, the driver reaches up and unclips the helmet strap. My heart stops beating for a second. The helmet slides off. Hair falls down in a messy wave. It is Alara. Her face is pale and covered in a sheen of sweat. Her eyes are wide and terrified, but she is standing there, in my hallway. Outside her apartment, I am so shocked I forget how to speak English. She lets out a shaky breath and whispers hi. I drop to my knees and hug her right there in the hallway. The giant thermal backpack digs into my chest, but I do not care. I pull her inside my apartment and lock the door. She collapses onto my floor and starts laughing hysterically, which turns into crying. I help her out of the massive orange backpack. I unzip the jacket and she is trembling like a leaf. I get her a glass of water and we sit on the floor against the wall. I ask her how she did it. She takes a long drink of water and explains the plan. She says she realized that she is terrified of people looking at her. She is terrified of being perceived and judged and trapped in social expectations. But then she watched out her window and saw the delivery drivers. She realized that no one looks at delivery drivers. They are invisible to society. They are just background characters facilitating a transaction. People look through them, not at them. So she went on the internet and bought a used delivery bag and a generic high-visibility jacket. She bought a helmet with a dark visor so no one could see her eyes. She called an Uber to her building and wore the full gear. She told the driver she was starting her shift. She rode in the car with the visor down. She walked into my building, and because she looked like she had a purpose, no one questioned her. She said the moment she put on the uniform, the anxiety dropped by 50%. She was not Alara, the girl who is afraid of the world. She was just a courier with a job to do. I look at her with absolute awe. It is the most brilliant and insane coping mechanism I have ever heard of. We eat the pad thai, which she actually picked up from the restaurant on the way. She walked into a restaurant. She says she just held up her phone with my name on the screen, and the staff handed her the bag without making eye contact. It worked perfectly. That night she sleeps in my bed for the first time in 2 years. I hold her and I can feel the tension slowly leaving her muscles. The next morning I drive her home. She wears the gear again for the walk to my car. She puts the helmet on in the elevator. We get to her place and she feels triumphant. This becomes our new normal. Every Friday and Saturday night, Alara becomes the courier. She buys different branded bags to mix it up. Sometimes she is orange, sometimes she is green. She starts getting confident with it. One time she stops at a convenience store to buy us snacks on the way. She tells me she stood in line behind a police officer and didn't panic. The uniform is her armor. It renders her invisible, and in that invisibility she finds freedom. My neighbors just think I order a suspicious amount of takeout on weekends. Sometimes she arrives and we don't even eat the food. We just cook dinner together in my kitchen. Having her in my space changes everything. My apartment starts to feel like a home. She leaves a toothbrush in the bathroom. She leaves a pair of pajamas under my pillow. The scent of her shampoo lingers on my sheets, and it makes me smile like an idiot while I work. But I start to worry that this is a crutch that will become permanent. I talk to my friend Mark about it over beers. Mark thinks it is hilarious but also genius. He says if it works, but I tell him I want to take her on a real date. I want to see her face in the sunlight without a visor. Months pass and it is now spring. The rain in Seattle is turning into that misty drizzle that signals flowers are coming. Alara has been coming over for 4 months straight. She is happier. Her therapist says exposure therapy is working even if it is unorthodox. One evening she arrives at my place with the orange bag. She takes off the helmet and she looks serious. She says she wants to try something hard. She says she wants to go for a walk with me, outside, but she wants to keep the jacket on. She says she can leave the helmet here, but she needs the jacket. The jacket is her safety blanket. I agree immediately. We wait until it is dark out so there are fewer people. We step out of my building and into the cool night air. She is wearing the oversized reflective jacket over her jeans. I hold her hand. Her palm is sweaty, but she is walking. We walk 2 blocks to a small park. A couple walks past us walking their dog. Alara stiffens and squeezes my hand hard. She pulls the collar of the jacket up. The couple ignores us completely. To them, we are just a guy walking with a worker who just got off shift. We sit on a bench in the dark park. She looks at the city lights reflecting off the wet pavement. She starts crying, but they are happy tears. She says she forgot what the air smells like at night. She says she feels like a person again. We sit there for 20 minutes until she starts getting cold. We walk back to my apartment and she is practically skipping. That night she tells me she loves me more than anything. I tell her I love her and her high visibility jacket. Progress continues. Summer rolls around. It is July and the weather is beautiful. Alara challenges herself to wear the jacket unzipped, then she tries wearing just the vest version. She is stripping away the armor piece by piece. One Saturday afternoon she texts me. She says come pick me up, no bag, no jacket, just me. My heart races as I drive to her building. I park out front and wait. The door opens and she walks out. She is wearing a blue sundress and sunglasses. She looks terrified, but she is moving. She walks quickly to my car and gets in. She slams the door and lets out a massive scream of relief. We high-five and I drive off. We go to a drive-through cinema. It is a safe environment because we are in the car. She watches the movie with the windows down. She eats popcorn and laughs. It feels like we are back in college before everything went wrong. But recovery is not a straight line. 2 weeks later, we have a setback. We try to go to a coffee shop. We are standing in line and it is crowded. Someone behind us bumps into her. It is an accident, but it triggers the trauma. She freezes, her breathing becomes ragged. She grabs my arm and digs her nails in. She whispers that she needs to leave right now. People are looking. The barista is asking for her order. She cannot speak. I apologize to the barista and guide her out of the shop. We get to the car and she has a full-blown panic attack. She is sobbing and hitting the dashboard. She says she is broken and that the delivery driver trick was just a lie. She says she can never be normal. I drive her home in silence while she cries. I walk her to her door and she tells me to leave. She says she needs to be alone. I drive home feeling defeated. I look at the orange delivery bag that is still sitting in the corner of my living room from a previous visit. It looks like a silly costume now. I do not hear from her for 3 days. I am terrified that she has retreated back into her shell permanently. I send her texts telling her that one bad day does not erase months of progress. I tell her that recovery is messy. I tell her I am not going anywhere. Wednesday evening comes around. There is a knock at my door, not the buzzer. A knock right on the apartment door. I am confused because no one gets into the building without buzzing. I open the door. It is Alara. She is wearing the orange jacket, but it is unzipped and hanging loose. She is not wearing the helmet. She is holding a pizza box. She is smiling a sad but brave smile. She says she forgot the code to the front door, so she waited for a neighbor to open it. She says she followed the neighbor in and made small talk in the elevator. She made small talk with a stranger, without the helmet. I pull her inside and kiss her. She says she realized something after the coffee shop disaster. She says hiding in the costume was necessary for a while, but she cannot live in it. She says she wants to be Alara again, not the delivery driver. But she kept the jacket on for the drive over just for a little courage. We eat the pizza. She tells me she signed up for a group therapy session for people with anxiety. It is in person. I ask her if she is ready for that. She says no, but she is going to do it anyway. She says she is tired of watching life happen through a window or a helmet visor. Months bleed into a year. Alara still has bad days. There are days when we cancel plans because she cannot face the door, but there are more good days than bad ones. We go grocery shopping together. We go to the movies. We visit my parents for dinner. The delivery bag sits in the back of my closet collecting dust. We keep it there as a reminder. It is a trophy of the war she fought against her own mind. One evening, we are sitting on my balcony watching the sunset. Alara is drinking wine and looking relaxed. She turns to me and says she has a confession. I ask what it is. She says she actually made decent money doing those deliveries on the way to my house. She says she signed up for the app for real after the third time. She says since she was wearing the gear, she figured she might as well get paid to visit her boyfriend. We both burst out laughing. I ask her how much she made. She says enough to pay for our anniversary dinner next week. I look at this woman and I am overwhelmed with respect. She took her biggest fear and turned it into a hustle. She turned her prison into a uniform and then she outgrew the uniform. The following week is our 4-year anniversary. We go to a restaurant downtown. It is busy and loud. We are seated at a table in the middle of the room. Alara looks a little nervous at first. She reaches across the table and holds my hand. She takes a deep breath and centers herself. A waiter approaches our table. He is a young guy looking stressed and rushing around. He almost drops the menus as he hands them to us. Alara smiles at him warmly. She tells him to take his time and that we are in no rush. The waiter looks relieved and thanks her. I realize in that moment that she sees him. She sees the anxiety in him that she used to feel. She is not just surviving the world anymore, she is engaging with it with empathy. We order our food and a bottle of wine. The waiter walks away. Alara looks at me and winks. She whispers that she hopes he gets a good tip because delivery work is harder than it looks. I laugh and raise my glass. To the delivery driver I say. She clinks her glass against mine. To the customer she says. We drink and the restaurant noise fades into the background. It is just us. No helmets, no visors, no walls, just two people in love living a normal, boring, beautiful life. Later that night, we walk back to the car. It starts to rain because it is Seattle and it always rains. Alara lifts her face to the sky and lets the water hit her skin. She spins around in a circle on the sidewalk. People are watching her. A guy at the bus stop stares. I watch her reaction. She notices him staring. She does not shrink. She does not hide. She simply waves at him and keeps spinning. The guy looks confused and looks away. She grabs my hand and pulls me into the rain. We run the last block to the car laughing like teenagers. We get inside soaking wet and breathless. I start the engine and turn on the heater. She leans over and rests her head on my shoulder. She says she is happy, not just okay. Not just coping, happy. I drive us home through the wet streets. I look at the city blurring past the windows. It is a scary world out there sometimes. It is loud and chaotic and judgmental. But as long as you have the courage to put on your armor when you need it and the strength to take it off when you do not, you can make it through anything. We get back to my apartment. I unlock the door. We step inside. I see the closet door is slightly ajar. The orange reflection of the delivery bag catches the hallway light. I smile at it. Thank you, I think, to the inanimate object. Alara walks into the kitchen to make tea. I close the closet door. Mission accomplished. Life goes on.